Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? Still in the news today, more talk about the exchange rate of the Iraqi Dinar. In addition to that, I think the Democrats found a way to get rid of Trump. Will they be brave enough to pull the trigger on this? We'll go over that here in just a moment. Before we get started, do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button. And if you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I certainly do appreciate it. If you're thinking about buying gold and silver, head on over to our friends at Money Metals Exchange. The link will be down below in the description. If you are a first-time buyer and you spend more than $100, use promo code PIMPYSILVER. Yes, it has changed. PIMPYSILVER. So if you're watching this video and it's an older video, make sure you check on current videos, because the code is going to be changing from time to time from now on. Also, I can be found on other platforms. Everybody knows I have my own website, Pimpy's News Network. Over here, I post videos that I can't get away with over on YouTube. Also, I have a group on Facebook called Pimpy's Investment Chat. Over here, we do talk about gold, silver, cryptocurrencies, as well as foreign currency investments. Come on over here and join us. It's free to do so. You can also come follow me on Twitter, MeWe, YouTube, and Odyssey. The links for all these platforms will be down below in the description. So for whatever reason, if I get removed off of one platform, you could find me on the others. Recently, more than a handful of people have been asking me about my address. I used to show it before. For people who are interested in writing or sending things to me, there's Pimpy's Network right there. You do it, attention Pimpy. Just pause the video and write this down. That is the address right there. All right, here we go. Sudanese economic advisor. The Iraqi dinar is in its strongest degree of stability. Well, I don't know if I'd go so far to say it's in the strongest. The fact that there's such huge fluctuations in the stock market on the exchange rate tells you that it's not in the strongest position. But let's hear what the person has to say. So Saleh, the Prime Minister's financial advisor, saw that the Iraq dinar is in the strongest degree of its stability. Saleh said that Iraq dinar is in the strongest degree of stability. The instability of the exchange rate of the dollar against the dinar is caused by international compliance controls that require transparency and broader governance in the behavior of merchants in foreign currency through financing foreign trade from the window of the central bank. And this lack of stability is in my time, and it will be back very soon. Which the last sentence, I'm not sure what the hell they're trying to say there. But anyways, the compliance is... We know that Iraq has a habit of using some really outdated methods when it comes to business, and this allows them for a more broader opportunity at doing some real corrupt stuff. There has been demands on their bank to get more in compliant with their banking system. It allows definitely the United States to monitor what's going on within their bank, but the IMF and the World Bank as well. But as we go on later on in other articles, you're going to understand why these banks don't want to comply. Because they're getting exposed for corruption. He indicated that the balance of foreign currency reserves is around $100 billion, which is the highest in Iraq's financial history, and this confirms that the Iraqi dinar is in the strongest degree of stability, back to normal as it was before. Stability is when you can stay within a certain percentage, margin, if you will, of how much it swings above and below your set exchange rate. I told you there's two exchange rates that are kept. Whenever the gap gets too big, that's when moves are made to shrink the gap between the official rate and the market rate. It says this comes as exchange rates of the dollar has been fluctuating for days. After reaching the threshold of 1,600 dinars for every dollar, it later declined and then rose to about 1,560 dinars for every dollar amid the government's pledge to control the exchange rate. Parliamentary Finance reveals the reason for the return of the dollar rise. Remember, the Parliament Financial Committee, Cougar, revealed on Thursday that the issue with the rise in dollar exchange rates is due to political and economic speculation. The government is not seeking to raise the dollar prices, and things are still under its control, and the central bank, which has high foreign currency reserves. The government will return its exchange rate to its previous rate of 1,480 dinars. Any talk of returning the prices to 1,200 dinars to $1 has become a thing of the past. Well, that sounds to me like they at least considered it. Yeah, 1,200 dinars would be going in the right direction. It'd obviously be as close to the 1,190 dinars that they had prior to the devaluation of the dinar. It's a small step, but it would definitely be going in the right direction. Alrighty, here we go. This is what I'm talking about, why some of these banks are not exactly falling in line with this new system. It said the U.S. Federal Reserve exposes 60 banks and a new way to smuggle dollars by forging airline tickets. Well, you got to give them an A for effort, man. These guys are definitely creative when it comes to ways of stealing money. The exchange rate of the dollar has risen again after a limited decline, while the fate of those involved in what is known as the theft of the century is still unknown. And they're going to get away with it because they're all tied into some very powerful politicians. And the way they negotiate over there is real simple. I'll give you some of the money back. You can't have all of it, but you got to let my man go. And during the court trial, he's not going to name no names. Must be nice. The U.S. intervention is preventing currency smuggling, was exposed by dozens of banks in Iraq that were described as shops for currency smuggling. It said, on the other hand, operations that circumvent the new conditions to maintain the stability of the dollar are still going on, the latest of which is the forgery of travel tickets. In conjunction with these events, the issues of the theft of tax securities interacts after the government announced the recovery of another small batch of money equal to 1% of the remaining uncollected balance. According to the information, the theft case may end with only one accused being held accountable. One. Because the other ones are high-ranking officials. It is likely that the trial will take place after a few days in return for covering up for the rest of the parties. This is the type of corruption I'm talking about. When people are saying, no, Pimpy the exchange rate, I go, no. Too much corruption in the country. And it's being done by the people who are in power. If people are going to invest in Iraq internationally, how could you trust those who are in power when they're so corrupt? The exchange rate of the dollar has fallen last week to a threshold of 1,500 dinars after the government announced a number of measures to control the foreign currency. But with the beginning of this week, it returned to nearly 1,600 dinars. That's going in the wrong direction. It says, and about the crisis, an informed political source says in an interview with the news that the rise in the dollar continues because private banks have not yet adopted to the American conditions. Almada revealed earlier direct American intervention in the process of controlling currency smuggling, which was then supported by the statements of the finance minister Sami. And the source, who asked not to be named, the American conditions have exposed more than 60 private banks so far because they do not have real banking system. The source described those banks as shops that forge import bills and smuggle foreign currency. So when banks start to go in compliance with lining up with what the Americans want, then a lot of them are getting exposed for their criminality. And that's why you're going to see some reluctance of these banks doing that. And so if that's the case, then they end up getting blackballed by the United States. And if these banks get sanctions against them, then it's going to affect the exchange rate. It says only about 20 private banks out of more than 80 banks entered a new system established by the U.S. Federal Bank within the central bank. That's what I was saying. The United States has a lot of control of other countries' foreign exchanges as well as their markets. Some of the banks that entered a new platform continued the process of forging invoices and were exposed. Do you understand why these people don't want to get into this new platform? They don't want to be exposed. They like their criminality and they don't want anybody to stop it. On the other hand, the source confirmed that the existence of a new circumvention of these procedures, represented by the fact that some banks provide fake travel tickets in cooperation with travel companies for the purpose of obtaining the dollar, which is given at the original price from the central bank of 1,475 dinars to every $1. So you see how that works. If the banks are giving you the Iraqi dinar at a rate of 1,475 dinars, then these people were buying a bulk amount of dinars and then turn around and selling them on the market for around 1,600 dinars. It doesn't sound like a lot, but if you have millions or even billions of dinars, then of course that adds up real quick. Almada viewed a document issued by the Tourism Authority addressed to travel agencies asking them to commit not to issue incorrect or countable travel tickets after the non-traveling citizens received the amount allocated to the traveler for the purpose of trading in hard currencies. So you're dealing with a lot of money here. Right here it says, according to previous information received by the news, the volume of hard currency smuggled every week ranges from $100 to $250 million, at least half of which goes to Tehran, which is over there in Iran, and the rest goes to 3 neighboring countries. So there are other countries who are using Iraq to do money smuggling, is what it is. I remember talking about the currency auctions a long time ago when they were talking about stopping it. I go, that would piss off Iran because Iran makes a ton of money off that. So they go on to say right here, when the money from selling oil is converted into dollars, the currency has serial numbers. And the U.S. Federal Bank discovers after 2 or 3 days that the currency has moved to another country. Banking companies manipulate the exchange rate despite the existence of a rate from the central bank. Noting that there is a special section of the National Security Agency, which is economic security concerns with monitoring these companies, and it must move to close the violating offices. So this article, it goes on and on, talks about how these banks have come up with some crafty ways of stealing the money out of Iraq. And this is why you see them manipulating the currency. This is what I was talking about. Iraq judicial chief highlights arrest warrants for Trump over Soleimani killing. The 2020 U.S. airstrikes that killed Iranian commander Soleimani in Baghdad continues to be a sore point between the U.S. and the Iraqi government. So I'm surprised that the Democrats haven't demanded that Trump go stand trial. If you remember, when he killed Soleimani, as well as al-Muhandis, who was over there, the Hezbollah leader, the Democrats and the media attacked Trump saying he was a holy man. He was a good guy. He was a father. Iraq's Supreme Judicial Council again brought up an arrest warrant for former U.S. President Donald Trump on Thursday in connection with the 2020 assassination of the Quad Force commander Qasem Soleimani and the leader of the Iraqi militia. The council president, Zidane, said that Trump is wanted for his crime in relation to the assassination of the leaders of victory. He made the remarks in front of the picture of Soleimani and Abu Mahdi al-Muhandis, the former leader of the Iranian-backed Hezbollah militia in Iraq. Said the court will not hesitate to take legal actions, said Zidane, as reported by the official Iraqi media. Yeah, go ahead. What are you going to do? Damn near every president is wanted for war crimes. If they were involved in the war, they're wanted for war crimes. So we all know what happened. Trump had an opportunity to take out the leader of the Iranian Red Guard, I believe it was. And this is the guy that's been responsible for a lot of trouble over there involving the U.S. soldiers, but also as well as Muhandis, who is a leader of the Hezbollah terrorist group. And so they're issuing warrants out for his arrest. And like I said before, I'm surprised that Democrats haven't demanded or found a sneaky way to have that guy deported over to Iraq to stand trial. That's how sneaky those bastards are. Anyways, that's it for now. You guys let me know what you think down below, and I will get at you later. I'm out.